Wow. LeBron James to the city of brotherly love. Out of all the options, I didn't believe this was going to be the one. Of all the choices and locations that he could have chose, I didn't believe this would be the one. Now, personally, I have a personal vendetta against the Philadelphia 76ers, but let's all give LeBron James a round of applause, as he has now proven that as King LeBron James has now proven that the NBA, the National Basketball Association, is rigged. I am not sure when the National Basketball Association became rigged. I have my theories. It probably always has been rigged, but I have irrefutable evidence, undeniable evidence, unfathomable evidence to prove that this is the case. Um, let's look at why the NBA has gone away from the dynasty era. The dynasty era is, well, the NBA is a business, right? The NBA is all about making money best for them, most amount of money for them. If we look at the dynasty era, it's fantastic for the teams that are winning, the teams that are consistently winning. It makes that city, that area so much money, that owner so much money, but it does nothing for the other 27, 28, 29 teams that are not winning or going to those finals. And so when you look at eras like the Lakers and the Boston Celtics and the all the teams in the past that have consistently won, it makes it makes you think, why is this not continuing to happen, right? Why are we now into every team wins a championship and you never know who's going to win one next? Damn near like an NCAA gauntlet. And this is because spreading the wealth, allowing more teams to get a championship, more cities to get a taste of the pie, everyone in all these different locations to get a celebrate and bring in revenue each year after year is better for the NBA. This spreads out the wealth. This keeps fans interested because they think their team might win the next season. It leaves everything up for speculation, so that everybody's coming into the NBA season hyped and ready to see how things are going to transpire. Versus when we knew it was the Golden State Warriors going to win everything, we kind of figured who's Golden State going to play in the finals. All those memes. So I first became skeptical when the Dallas Mavericks gave away a franchise player. They gave away Luka Doncic, arguably one of the best players in basketball history. He was transcended the game. He was a representation of Dallas. He was a representation of Texas. He brought so much fans to Texas, but he was taking a large chunk of money out of their pockets, especially with that being like a low tax state, no tax state. And then they next year, or same year in a way, a couple months, were able to get the number one pick. Right? So you trade away a generational player. Honestly, it wasn't that great trade. It was like a pick. It was Anthony Davis and like something else, a whole bunch of bullshit, and you get the number one pick immediately after. Now this is not common. This is not common at all. Normally, when you try to trade away a player of this caliber, like the Lakers did with LeBron, you don't get a fucking number one pick. I bet you they won't. You don't get a number one pick, and I believe this was the not the final straw, but it was one of the straws that made me realize something was off with the NBA. Something was different. Weird moves were happening, and that's when I realized the truth that the NBA is rigged. I learned that, and upon research, I saw that each team were getting a chance to win, but it wasn't just random teams; it was big markets. So the Texas, a gigantic state with a large amount of money, San Antonio, Houston, they were going to back-to-back finals with James Harden. They were winning before that with the Spurs dynasty. They got one in 2011 with the Dallas Mavericks and Dirk Nowitzki over the impossible random one-off chance, one-win championship over LeBron James and the Miami Heat. So all of these combinations of success in Texas suffice Texas, which keep in mind is a major market, right? We're going to go through all of the major markets that have recently won, and you're going to see a pattern. After the one-off and damn near impossible win by the Dallas Mavericks over an insurmountable foe of the Miami Heat, Miami comes and wins. Now Miami hadn't won in an extremely long time. This satisfies Florida. The Orlando Magic, they had Shaq and whatnot, but they're never going to be a contender. It makes no sense. There's no Jacksonville teams. It's just Orlando and Miami. And if you're going to give a championship, you're damn sure going to give a championship to the Miami Heat with LeBron James and D Wade. So that's Miami. Their suffice. This one is where it gets tricky. Toronto, a major market in the entire state of Canada, they get a one-off championship with Kawhi Leonard off of a Zaza Pachulia leg ankle breaker. Who made that call? Adam Silver. Who made that call? NBA. Who made the call to get somebody hurt? Kevin Durant hurt for this to be a championship for Toronto. Now this is suffices an entire country. This is suffices Canada. So right now we have the gigantic markets all being filled. We go back to LA. It's been a while since the Lakers won. Since Kobe. LeBron went back, bubble chip, right? COVID bubble chip. They were debating on not even playing the NBA season. Instead, they play the season in another major market, California. So California, Boston, Florida, Toronto, some of the arguably the 4 or 5 biggest markets have all now been sufficed. They all now have a ring. They all now have a championship in the modern era. Then we go to Boston. You can't forget about Boston. When's the last time Boston has won? It has been since Paul Pierce, right? It's been a while since Boston has won. They've had Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown on the same team. Two extremely high picks. Two extremely high picks on the same team. It's time for Boston to win. They won a weird one-off championship where they had two great players. The other has the most wins in NBA history. But for some odd reason, they don't go back to back, right? Jason Tatum gets hurt randomly. Lee gives out, who makes that call? Somehow Jason Tatum comes back in the shortest amount of time ever. Less than a year from an ACL injury. Shortest amount of time ever. He comes back and plays in the same year, 8 months, like nothing ever happened. Right? Are we not catching on? Boston has now gotten one. LA has now gotten one. Toronto has now gotten one. Florida has now gotten one. That leaves the Knicks. 50 years since New York has won. They have been the longest team to have been waiting out for a championship. Doing everything right. Building the teams. Going to the finals. Getting close. Getting close. Getting close. They bring it back to small guard. They make a team where it's the same team as the college team, the Villanova Knicks. Storylines all being made. And after 50 years, the last big market wins the championship, the New York Knicks. And so I asked ChatGPT the day the Knicks won. I saw this pattern. I asked ChatGPT the day the Knicks won. What's the next biggest market that has not won a championship in a while that would likely win one? Now I was thinking Dallas at the time. I was wondering Dallas, but I got reminded by ChatGPT that in 2011 Dallas Mavericks won. And so they said the number one team, you guessed it, was the fucking Philadelphia 76ers. And when I saw that, and I saw like right after they got Jaylen Brown for nothing. They gave him a washed up bad knee Paul George and got Jaylen Brown. They were looking like, now we're looking at them getting LeBron for a pennies, $8 million check for LeBron. 8 million? 8 million? We know what this is. This is another storyline. Send LeBron out. He ties Jordan with rings, or he gets closer to Jordan with rings. The city of Philadelphia finally gets the ring. Finally. Right? Storylines get wrote. LeBron can even coach and not have to like be the best player on a team anymore. He can now just be part of the team or his Jordan Washington shit. We know what this is. This is part of the rigged NBA, man. It's part of the rigged NBA, and I'm going to show you guys the evidence of the time where I put in ChatGPT June 14th, the day the Knicks won, what was going to happen. It has timestamps. I can't fake this up. I can't fake it. I can't make it up. I can't fake it. Timestamps, date stamps, all of it. I knew this was going to happen since June. I predicted it, and I'm going to show you guys why. Now here's my last set of predictions. I don't think the Philadelphia 76ers win one this year. I don't. I think that'd be just too easy. I think they win. It's a 2 year contract for LeBron. I think they win in his second year. Following the trend of LeBron always winning in his second year. LeBron might even get a Finals MVP, and he leaves on a championship win in the city of Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love. That's my prediction. Right? I've been right so far. I knew the Knicks would win. I knew OKC would win. I'll explain that rigged situation in another video. Y'all let me know. Is the NBA rigged? How y'all feel about LeBron going to Philadelphia? I personally hate Philadelphia, so like LeBron being my favorite player, I gotta now say Jordan's better. All right, but that's a conversation for another day. Y'all let me know y'all favorite. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts and leave a comment.